All right. Well, I want to go ahead and welcome everyone to our live Wednesday night Elite Honors Academy webinar. I want to show you two things that we've been working on. We've been polishing up the website, our Synergy family. And so you can see that we've got a much more inviting graphic up on the top so that when a person comes on this website, we have our mission statement, blessing lives with better health as we build a vibrant network marketing business. We now have a logo for ourselves. We have our Synergy family logo. And what used to be a picture here, these are all clickable links. So the person can click on strategy, elite honors, resources, teamwork, training. They'll open up to a separate page. If they scroll down, it will be the same pages that they would see here on this slider. So again, it's the same pages that they're going to go to. So a much nicer look. We're working on the footer. We're going to be changing the footer here, where we're going to be using the new logo here and changing this so that it's much more graphically inviting. And then we're also going to be linking this website to our Facebook page. Let me get the Facebook page up here. We now have a Facebook page starting on Monday. I'm going to actively begin to promote this page for people to like it, to join on it. Next Wednesday night, I'm going to begin to talk to you about a specific strategy of how to use the Facebook page for our Synergy family for both you as well as ability to post on it, and what the requirements would be for you to be able to have access to individually post your own comments. You can always put comments on, but as far as making a post, you have to be I have to give you permission to do that, and we're going to have some criteria for that to occur. But as we attract people over the next year to follow us, we want to give you the ability to be able to continue this process of branding yourself, and we're going to be using our Facebook page to show people, both within our Synergy family as well as people who are following us and liking us, that you have the ability to show the way that you are actually marketing yourself, how you're using Synergy resources, the tools and resources in our Synergy family, the Synergy library, to gain your customers and gain your business builders. I'm going to hold off on this till next week, but Penny's already used some of her resource tools, and she's gained a preferred customer from it. We'll talk a little bit more about that next Wednesday if Penny's able to be on the call. And again, be able to share with you how you can be able to use your experience, put it into a post, and begin to help other people want to follow you to see what you're actually doing, and be able to attract people to you. This will be a little bit more defined next week. Now, David, are you off your telephone call?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay, Dan?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So David and I have been working on his 84-day game plan. Let me get up here. So David, as we've worked on this, as I go to get a drink of water here, could you maybe give people just a slight overview of what you're anticipating in this 84-day game plan?
Yes, thanks, Dan. I'll be glad to do that. First of all, hello, everybody, and good evening. My hat's off to you for joining this call, because that shows that you're interested in building your business and learning more, and trying to increase the volume of your business by implementing new strategy, or at least trying to find out new strategies that we're using. And I say that the business that we're in, as you've heard often, is a contact sport. Just like football, it's a contact sport. You got to go out there and play in the field and not stay in the sidelines. So I'm always open, always looking for ways to build my business. And as new ideas and new opportunities show up, and we are fortunate to have a leader like Dan Hammer who brings out so many very, very nifty tools, if I could call them, to take advantage of them, especially in our age of social media. And social media is something that, even though I'm, over 60 and I'm usually not a lot of my peers aren't into it, I want to stay abreast of it. I need to know. I need to engage because this is the wave of the future. This is what's going on now, and we have to be working with it. So in my portion of the 84-day game plan, just to answer Dan's question, what interested me specifically is that I have the opportunity to go to a fishing pond, so to speak, that has the kind of fish that I want to attract. So rather than putting out an ad in a magazine or doing a large broadcast to many people in the hopes that a few will listen, we are reversing the process. We are pinpointing where those individuals are that would be interested in what we do and may have a real interest in the passion that we share in helping people improve their health, and are looking for a success-minded, high-integrity company, as I was, to work with. So that's what interested me. So I'm hoping that by following the plan that Dan's going to explain tonight, and we're going to share, we can make a difference, and not only in people's lives, but of course that will result in making a difference in our business with people that are truly interested. This is the next best thing, Dan, to a warm market.
Yeah, okay, and that's a good statement. And then you also made a statement about fishing in ponds, and I'm going to come back to that a little bit later. So if I forget to talk about this, David, remind me, or someone on the call remind me, because if you've ever fished and you go out on a lake on your own and you don't know the lake, you may not find too many good places to fish for, or to go fishing and actually catch fish. If you have a person who guides you, they know where the fish are at. And you also need to understand that sometimes the fish are not always in the same place. So they do have a tendency of moving. So you need to understand that where one fishing pond may have been good for a month or two, you might find that you need to move to another pond to fish in, as long as you understand what your demographic is and you understand what your marketing strategy is. And we'll come back to this in a little bit. David, the goal, and this is you don't have to have the same goal. You could have a lower goal or a higher goal, but the goal is to get new leads. So the goal of this 84-day game plan, it's not going to happen on day one, but as you apply this and continue to create the momentum, the goal is to get 10 to 20 new leads per day. Now, those are people that David just talked about, people who are more than just cold, they're actually beginning to be lukewarm. And in that lukewarm process, as you engage them and build relationship, they become part of your warm market. They become followers, and they become potential people who become either product users or join you in the business. And so, David, your target market that you've chosen is the Hispanic population here in the United States and Puerto Rico?
That's right, Dan. Everybody has a skill set. That happens to be my skill set, one I feel comfortable with. I am blessed that I can speak English also, so I can engage with individuals that speak only English, but certainly the Hispanic population are a population that really suffers a lot from things like diabetes and high blood pressure. And of course, I have a sincere interest in helping my community improve their health. So that's what I'm targeting.
Now, we needed to refine that target because we could do the whole Hispanic population, but teenagers and Hispanic men and women in their 20s might not resonate. So we looked at men and women age 45 and older who are Hispanic and use nutritional supplements. Plus, David wanted to put a subcategory because he has an idea to market to the trucking industry, because there are two huge problems in the trucking industry: road fatigue and high blood pressure. High blood pressure, if it's uncontrolled or if their diabetes is uncontrolled, they won't get their CDL renewed. And road fatigue is a huge factor, especially for the over-the-road truckers. And there's a large population group of over-the-road truckers that are Hispanic. So it's a subcategory in terms of what David's doing. And as we go through this process of showing you how David's going to specifically fish in the ponds that he's looking for, we'll show you some of the ways that we were able to identify the initial ponds where David's going to start fishing in. Now that doesn't mean that we're going to be successful in finding fish, but those are good areas that we feel would be beneficial to start fishing in, and as we fish we'll find whether those are actually good choices or not. Now, David, we're going to be marketing the elimination of heart disease and diabetic complications, and specifically for truckers, we're going to address high blood pressure and road fatigue, correct?
That is correct, Dan. And I can attest to that because a lot of the customers that I work with, and you mentioned something real important, and that is, not addressing the entire Hispanic population, but trying to isolate and pinpoint those individuals in that age group that would specifically be interested in what you have to say and what you have to share. So yes, I'll be pinpointing the age group over 45, men and women. I'll be pinpointing individuals that are involved in posts or pages that are interested in what I like is the health and wellness industry, and of course the truckers. I am also interested in, as you said, because a lot of my customers that I have right now are truckers, and they have realized a lot of benefit from taking ProArginine Plus for both, as you mentioned, their cardiovascular health because of the precious CDL license that they value and they have to comply and they have to have their blood pressure under control, and two, road fatigue. And that's a different strategy, which we'll get into in a few minutes, but certainly road fatigue is something that can also be addressed for the truckers.
So you need to have a Facebook page. You definitely need to have a personal Facebook page because all of your active engagement is going to be off of your personal Facebook page. And then certainly if you have a business Facebook page, that's good too, because then you can also direct people to your business page. David does a couple different things, and so we're going to show you some of the things that David's doing. It doesn't mean that you have to do everything that David's doing. We just want to show you David's strategy. And David, I actually pulled up already your Facebook page. I've got your Facebook page here. So this is David's business Facebook page, and here would be David's personal Facebook page. So again, a little bit different theme on each page, a little bit different look, a little bit different branding message on each page. But if we go back to the PDF, and again, I've put actually in the Synergy library, if you go to the Synergy library, click on the PDF section, I've actually put in a template PDF called the 84-Day Game Plan template that you can download. And the first 3 pages are blank from the standpoint that this information is not filled in terms of URL addresses and locations. But this is create your perfect profile. Now I know Dave's been working on his perfect profile. He's been working on his personal page as well as he's been working on his business page. David, are you completely satisfied with the tweaks that you've made, or is there still some things that you're planning to do to get the look that you want so that you're ready to go on August 1st?
Yeah, we're still in the beginning steps, Dan. So what I did is I changed my profile page. I changed a couple of things on the postings I have. As you can see, I used to have a family picture where you see me pointing to the Synergy logo. I changed that. Of course, I want to make sure that in addition to being a Synergy representative, I'm also a professional, so I try to put a professional picture there of me in a tie, and so I try to make it look good, but at the same time I got other pictures showing that I'm a family person. So I want to put in as much things as I can to relate to the person that's looking at it. I want to put pictures of my grandkids and my kids and the things I'm involved in. If you scroll a little bit more, you'll see that I'm involved in community affairs. Last weekend I was involved in a health fair in one of the local neighborhood events, and of course I wanted to try to show that I want to try to simulate as we work, Dan, towards the 84 days, and we start visiting different individuals' Facebook pages. I can get an appreciation of what my target audience likes and I can further mold my page towards that end. So I can look at the groups, I can look at the interest, and I can create posts that would be in line with what may interest them, so that they would visit my page more and get interested into what I'm doing a lot more. So it's not finished by no means, Dan. I still
Okay.
got work to do on
All
it.
right. So let's go back up into our game plan here. David also has a YouTube channel. I didn't pull up the YouTube channel. And then David also has a website, Nuevo Cardio. I did pull up your website, David. It's right here. And so David has a website that he's put up that is all in Spanish. Testimonials is easy for me to know that what that is. And then this is the library for the different videos that David has done in Spanish that addresses specific different health needs. This is locate a distributor, or I think it's to contact you as far as a distributor or looking for distributors. So again, the website isn't
Correct. I've got distributors, Dan, that I'm proud to say that most of my distributors in the city are first customers before they were distributors, and they realize the benefits of it, and they themselves ask the question, how did you get involved? Of course, I hope this list will grow with the context we'll make with the 84-day plan. And of course, I have my blog, as you can see at the end, and the blog is quite full of information. A lot of the information I put on the blog is also information that I put on my Facebook page. So individuals that can visit either site will be able to appreciate both sides of the information. And of course, the very first one all the way on the left is the order page. The first thing I want them to see is how to order for Arginine Plus, and all the other products that we represent.
So David's got some different things that he's created, and now what he's going to be doing is he's going to be creating interest, and depending upon how that interest is created and what they're actually looking for, looking to join him in the business, looking to just to get product, he can direct them to the correct page that he wants to. He can do that from a messaging standpoint on Facebook, or he can send them an email. But again, if he's creating the context through Facebook, he can message people. Once you become friends on Facebook, you can message each other back and forth, and you'll get notifications on your messages. If you message someone who just likes your page, most likely they're not going to see your message. It's not going to be something that directly screams at them that they've got a message from one of their friends. So the goal is to get people to want to connect with you as friends, looking at their pages, make sure that they're the type of person that you actually want to friend, and then once you friend them, you send them a message and begin to this process of engaging them, going from a very lukewarm contact to building that relationship, to then understanding their needs, their pain points, to directing them to the appropriate videos or websites that will help you continue to develop that relationship. And for ones that become interested, go ahead, David.
I wanted to point one more thing out. So if you could scroll up just a little bit, right underneath the Nuevo Cardio, as you could see, I purchased a brand new URL, and that cost me $10 a year. It's called Salud CDL, or CDL Health, as translated. And I want it to be, that's going to be exclusively used for the truckers. So when I market to the truckers on their page or point them to my web page, which will be that URL, it will be specifically geared for truckers, and we'll have the two products, one for high blood pressure and one for improved energy, that will be to that. So I'm kind of even to the point of creating a URL, which is quite economical, and of course with your support, Dan, and I want everyone to know that Dan will support you in helping you create an order page for you. All you have to do is be creative in ordering a URL or creating a URL that you could think of, and we have the resources in our hands to be able to point people to whatever specific field we choose to work with. So I just wanted to point that out, then, because it's part of the strategy that's involved in what we're doing.
Yeah, what you want to do is, depending upon your strategy that you're using, you want to make sure that you send people to the appropriate page that's going to speak to their needs. So to send an English-speaking trucker to Nuevo Cardio is not going to necessarily speak to them because they can't read it to begin with. And even if they could read it, it's not speaking to a trucker. But David will have a landing page specifically designed for truckers. And at this point in time, that page will be in English. Most truckers, I would assume, that are going over the road truckers are bilingual. And if we need to create a page similar to this in Spanish, then we'll do that at the same. I'll have David translate it. Then we'll put it up in Spanish if we need to. But right now, that page will be in English because, again, most people who are driving over the road with a license, they speak both English and Spanish.
Right. The strategy there, Dan, is that hopefully, it won't be difficult to translate, but certainly when they get to the primary page, they'll be able to toggle back and forth and choose the English or the Spanish.
Right.
They choose,
well, and we can always look at having a language converter on it too. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So I'm not going to show you the rest of these links. Some of these links you all have access to. Like, one of the things that I try to do in the template is I left the Synergy Library link there. Having your business plan in front of you where you can open it up at the beginning of every day and know that your business plan is in front of you and that all the necessary links that you're going to need are there. That you don't have to hunt and paste for or look for things. That if you need something out of the Synergy Library, you can click right on the Synergy Library and go into the library and get a PDF that you might need or a video that you might need. We have our Synergy Family. That's the website that I just showed you at the beginning of our conversation tonight. You have access to that. Some of you already have personal pages. If you want a personal page, I don't have this pulled up. If we have time, I'll show it. But David has a personal page that if he's talking to someone who's interested in the business and a person's a network marketer, he could send that person this link. It'll take them to David's personal page that speaks to a network marketer. And then he could also have them go into our Synergy Family and the general website to see all the different things that we've created. The synergyopportunity.com. The person wants to know more about the Synergy business, he can send them this 20-minute business presentation. And then we also have our Who Wants Improved Health that has the 4 product videos and the 3 business videos. So David's going to be fishing in the United States and Canada. United States, we include Puerto Rico in that because Puerto Rico is able to vote. They actually had delegates at the Democratic convention as well as at the Republican convention last week. So, we didn't specifically target that, but we considered Puerto Rico part of the United States and Canada. And then what I want to spend some time, David, and then we need to get to Carol because Carol's got a little bit different strategy, is we want to show people how to find their fishing ponds. So there's 2 basic strategies. Friends of my friends who like blank and are blank. So friends of my friends who like CrossFit and are over the age of 60, that's just an example that I used on stuff that I was doing for myself. I'll show you what we did for David. And then on Google, doing website searches. So here's my Google search that I did for David. Hispanic network marketers on Facebook. I didn't find anything that took me to Facebook. But what I did find is I found some great articles. So I pasted them up here for David because the overriding aspect that when David reads through these articles, if he hasn't already done so, we talked about it this morning, but the overriding aspect of these articles is that the Hispanic population, especially if you speak to them in their native language, is a huge opportunity. But what happens is companies don't follow through, meaning that they just try and do traditional marketing to them as opposed to creating relational marketing to them. And that's the key aspect. David's going to be doing relational marketing. So instead of just trying to sell them a product because of a nice slick ad campaign, no, he's going to be looking at people and identifying needs and pain points and be able to then create the relationship marketing, help that person solve that health issue through one of the Synergy products, help that trucker solve his road fatigue, help that trucker solve his high blood pressure issues, and build that relationship, because he's there on Facebook, engaged in this marketing strategy to build people who want to follow David and understand the things that he's doing. And out of that process of building his following, building those relationships where people will then trust David and want to and when David suggests that they do something to solve that issue, trust David and say, okay, let's do it, David. How do I get that product? And then David can send them the appropriate link to be able to order. Am I making sense to you, David, as well as am I making sense to the rest of our group tonight?
Exactly. Those of us, Dan, that have been in the business or are familiar with network marketing, it's all about building the relationship. Now, when you build a relationship, that means that you are a friend of that person. They know who you are, whether it be you're advertising one-to-one, where you're talking to them and build a friendship, or they order from you and then you follow up with them and you ask how did it go, and you stay in touch. Or in my case, sometimes I will be doing advertisement on the radio. They've heard me, and I've had people that hear me maybe 6 months later. They say, I've heard you on the radio, meaning they know who I am. They built a relationship. They know what I stand for, and they're looking for me. Or people that kept my business cards for a long time, and they know who I am, and they also want to stay in touch. So it's all about building. Now, what we're doing with Facebook, Dan, is basically the same thing. We're building a profile or a reputation, per se, of who we are and what we stand for. And the more engaged we stay with Facebook, and the more, if I may use a more crude term, stay in their face, they'll say, wow, this person is really serious about what they do and what they represent. And it's happened on my personal page and my business page, Dan. People, all of a sudden, they may have something happen in their family. A family member either dies or gets very sick, or they begin getting a bad diagnosis from their doctor. What's the first thing that's going to come into their mind from their subconscious? Well, I know someone who actually has a product for many years that helps with cardiovascular health, and that's what we want to do. We want to put something in people's minds and their subconscious that they know who to reach out to for whatever field of expertise we want to go with.
Yes, absolutely. Now, the next Google search that I did is I did Hispanic sites on Facebook. And I came up with a lot of different potential sites for David. And I put these 5 here. Being Latino, 4.8 million followers. That's huge. Mexican Pride, about 156,000. This is a site for Puerto Rico. There's over 302,000, almost 303,000 people that are on that Facebook site. Hispanics Be Like, almost 750,000. This is another Puerto Rican page on Facebook, about 150 or 255,000. So then I went to Hispanic Truckers on Facebook. Well, it led me on Google, it led me to a couple links for trucking companies. So I found this one, West Trucking, their website. When I clicked on their Facebook link, it took me to their Facebook page. Has about 1,700 people who like that page. I came to, within that, there was sometimes when you go onto your Facebook page, if you scroll down, Facebook gives you some recommendations of other like-minded websites that are in that particular theme. And I found Twisted Truckers. So I went to the Twisted Trucker site, a little over 500, a 500,000 likes, followers on that page. And one of the things that I look at when you go on that page is I look at what types of posts are on there and if there's engagement to the posts. There's a lot of websites that you'll come across on Facebook pages that maybe speak to your target market, but when you look at all the posts, they're posting on a daily basis, but there's no engagement in comments on the posts. It means that most people are not bothering to pay attention to that website. They may have a lot of likes, but people are not engaging in their website because the posts that they put up don't create any type of engagement. So you want to make sure that when you look through your websites, as you're gaining the pools that you're looking to fish in, David's going to need to go back and remember, you're looking for initially 3 to 5 fishing pools. So I've given David more than 5. I've given him close to 10. He's going to need to go in personally and look at each one of these Facebook pages, and he's going to need to look at the types of posts that are being put up, the types of engagements that are being created, and he's going to then need to whittle this down to his 3 to 5. And that's where he'll start. And maybe he won't, maybe those 3 to 5 that he initially chooses don't meet his expectations. Then he can always come back to this page, this PDF that he has, and he can then try another fishing pond to fish in. Now, I put this up here. I came across this Alliance website, great looking website, but when I clicked on their Facebook page, they only got 2 followers. That site, although it looks nice, and they have some nice posts on it, there's no one following it. Now, the next thing that I did is I did friends of my friends who are Hispanic and are truck drivers. Now, what I got out of that is you'll get a stream of different people, but as you go through that stream, you'll find that people are using other people's Facebook names in their comments. When you hover over those names, Facebook gives you a little window and shows you who they are and typically shows you how many likes that they have. So I found spouses of truck drivers. There's over 9,000. That might be a good place for David to fish in for the trucking community. They're not necessarily Hispanic. It showed up on my friends of my friends search on Facebook, but the group is not necessarily Hispanic. They're just spouses of truck drivers. And what I found on that page was there a lot of engagement on that page. Then I did friends of my friends who are Hispanic and have diabetes. Well, what I got there is I found some great articles and pictures. I only found one thing, Dr. David Samadi, and I couldn't quite tell if David Samadi, Dr. Samadi, what his ethnicity is. He's certainly not white Caucasian, but I couldn't tell if he was Hispanic or if he was in the another ethnic group. But he's got over half a million followers on his Facebook page, and he had some pretty good topics. But what I did find when I did that search is I found some fantastic articles that I clicked on, took me to their URL destinations, and I copied those things because that will give David some excellent material in which to be able to create some of his own small posts about. There's a great picture here with regards to diabetes in the Hispanic community. And again, I'm going on memory here, but if I remember correctly, 82 or 83% of the Hispanic population has diabetes. It's huge. They're the #1 ethnic population with the greatest level of diabetes. And then I don't remember who's second and third. But, that's a great visual to post up on David's page with a message. I want to help any of our loved ones in the Hispanic community who either has diabetes or has a loved one with diabetes find nitric oxide therapy as a way to address it. And as you can see by the picture, the problem is huge. Anyone in your family have diabetes? Send me a yes or no. Again, you do a post and you ask a question so that you create engagement. And out of that engagement, David can then begin to create relationships with people off of that. Or he might take that and he might do a small boost to it to his population group to get additional likes off of it. Then he can go in and he can look at different people on there, and then he can decide whether he wants to send them a friend request or not. So again, there's all these little different things that you can do that begin to give you a wealth of information to help you specifically begin to find good target groups. Now, there's a strategy to this whole aspect. Once David has has taken those 10 potential fishing ponds and boiled it down to 3 to 5, then what he's going to do, 30 minutes to an hour each day, he's going to go on into each pond, and he's going to look for relevant posts. And if he finds a relevant post, he's going to make a quality comment to it. And then he's going to look at most recent comments for each of those posts, and he's going to like every comment. Unless that comment is negative, he's going to like it. Because when he goes to like all those comments, all the people who posted them will know that he liked it. And then they may take the time to search out David Munoz, because he's going to like them as his personal page, and they're going to go to David's personal page and they're going to check him out. And some of the people are going to like what they see about David, and they're going to send him a friend request. And in that friend request, then David's going to go and look at their friend request, go to their Facebook page. He's going to look over their page and decide if this person is trolling me or this person's legit, that I want to have a relationship with this person. And if he likes what he sees on that person's page, he's then going to go and he's going to accept their friend request. Now friends, he can then message them directly, and in that message, he can then do either the short copy message or the long copy. Name of the person, David Munoz, thank you for the friend request. I see that you're, and again, if you take the time to look at their page and you want to begin to build a better relationship in the beginning, then take the extra minute or two to write a little bit more where you actually comment to them. Hey, I love your banner picture. Did you create that by yourself, or did you have someone else create it for you? Or I love that last post that you put up there. So again, just something that attracts you, that you really like, or that you can compliment that person on. They know then that you spent time on their page, that you're making a comment. It's like if you walk into a person's office and you take the time to look at the things that are on their wall and on their desk. Oh, I see that you are a fisherman. That's a pretty big fish that you got there. Where did you catch that? What are you doing? You're engaging them in the things that they like. So you're immediately doing something that's going to help warm up the relationship. It's the same thing that you're doing here. It's just that you're not walking into their physical office. You're walking into their physical Facebook page. And you're seeing the same things that you would see in their office. They're putting up their family pictures. They're putting up the things that are important to them. And you're commenting on them in a positive, constructive way to build, to break the ice and begin to establish a relationship. Does that make sense, David?
Yes, it does, Dan. And I want to let everybody know that's looking at this. We've scrolled through a lot of information. And I don't want anyone looking at this, thinking to them, I can't do this, this is too overwhelming. I would compare it, Dan, to the first time we learned how to drive. When I was a teenager and I got in a car and I saw all these different instruments, and how can I remember the brake and how to turn signals and I drove a clutch. Well, this is something similar. You take it one step at a time, and that's how I plan to do it. Danny, you and I were talking about what times I would strategize. I'm strategizing doing it first thing in the morning, maybe for an hour, and of course in the evening for another hour. And I want to try to stay consistent during the night. That way it doesn't interfere during the day, unless of course I get a post that is very, very interesting and I want to answer it right away. So I'm not going to let it consume me all day, but I do want to learn it, develop a new skill set, and who knows where it could go. And also, Dan, I know that this is a technique that you and I didn't develop. We're taking this from someone who's very, very, very successful at it. So
yeah, all we're doing is modeling from someone else who uses this technique to create 10 to 20 leads on a daily basis, and actually shows you live, or in this case, recording of live things that he's doing, that this is how it works. This is the strategy that he's used to build his business very successfully. All we're doing is just modeling it and trying to make it as easy to understand as possible
Correct.
So your Facebook core strategies 1 and 2 are the most important. If you get to 3, great. If you got time to do 3, great. But that's the least important of the 3 core strategies. 1 and 2 are the most important, and you're not going to spend any more than 30 minutes to an hour on 1, and the same thing on 2. So you're looking at an hour to 2 hours daily, and if you get up an extra half an hour at the beginning of the day and go on Facebook with a sole purpose of fishing in your ponds, and then at night taking a half an hour to answer all your friend requests and messages and things like that. Again, you want to set up your day so that you're using your day effectively, because I can tell you, as I'm doing this Facebook stuff, you can get sidetracked. You can go down a lot of rabbit trails, so you got to stay focused, you got to stay disciplined, and if you do, you're going to begin to create momentum, people wanting to connect with you because the message that you've got is going to resonate with them. David, I need to go to Carol so that we can show people some of what Carol's doing.
Okay.
And then what we'll do, David, is we'll come back for any questions. So I just want to let people know that we're going to go a little bit longer tonight. So Carol, I know I saw your name up here. Are you unmuted? So Carol, when we talked, you wanted to go after moms who lack energy, correct?
Right.
So why? Tell us why you chose that.
Okay, well, there's different reasons. I have noticed a lot of moms who are, because I have a neighbor behind me who heads up some mom groups. We've talked a little bit, and I've noticed some different other moms that are, friends of mine. And I also really, what started a lot of it was seeing so maybe they didn't lack energy, but they were in a group doing exercises out the park with their baby buggies. And the combination of it, just seeing moms trying to make it through their day, I just thought it'd be a great place to go.
Okay. So you saw a need that's out there, and you're looking for a way to tap that in. Is that a little bit more of a passion for you to help moms regain some energy?
For sure, yes.
Okay. So the marketing strategy is to create naturally derived energy using E9. And again, what are we trying to do? We're going to try and create leads for Carol by using this Facebook strategy. Carol, I don't think you have a business page, but you certainly have your personal page. And I don't have it pulled up here, but one of the things that Carol will need to do is she'll need to go through her profile, and she'll need to look at her profile page in terms of her image, the banner that's behind her image. She wants to get all the current information that she needs to on her website, so that if people come to her Facebook page, the initial impression that they have is the impression that Carol wants to give. And that if a person needs to contact Carol, they can certainly contact Carol. Because again, if you don't bother to put up your phone number, I can tell you that if you're worried about the bad people wanting to find your phone number, they don't need to go to Facebook. I mean, if they go to Facebook because they think it's easy, that's fine and they don't find it. If they want your phone number, they'll be able to get it other ways. So it's like we live in an information world, and for you to try and protect your phone number and where you live, the people who are not going to do things in a nice way, they already know how to get all that information. So you might as well make it easier for the people who actually do want to contact you and be able to start that relationship. You might as well make it easy for them to do it. Okay? Now, when we went through here, Carol actually has a page here. Let me go ahead and pull up that page. I'm not sure how long it'll take to come up. But Carol actually has a page that we designed for Carol. And Carol, you just recently used this page with an individual. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what was the outcome while we're waiting for your page to come up?
Okay. Well, she had ordered a jumbo jar for me, probably about 4 months ago. And So then she was getting ready to get one. And they've also been kind of taking the E9. She hasn't, but her husband had been. And she was kind of getting interested in that too. So we sent her this page, and then she ordered her jumbo dart from it.
Okay. Carol has got a page that speaks both to Pro Arch9 Plus as well as E9 on the same page. And so that is a page that as she creates these relationships, she can then say to the person, well, since you're interested in the E9 energy drink, let me send you a link to my personal page, and you can order right off of that page. So it finally should show up, and as you can see, as you scroll down this page, one of the things that we have here is we have embedded in her page the E9 video. So a person who might want to get more information, Carol could also use the same page and say, hey, whether you're interested in buying the product or not, I'm going to send you my ordering page, because when you go on it, just scroll down and you're going to see the E9 Healthy Energy video. Just watch the video. They'll help you understand all the great ingredients that we have in this product. Or Carol could take a different track and just pull the URL out of the Synergy library and send just the URL for that video. So it's there, and then she has the ability for that person to go ahead and order right on that page. So that's something that we set up for Carol to be able to help her be able to market directly to people. Now, her ponds are going to be in the United States and Canada, and here's what I did to help Carol in this whole process. I did a Google search, mothers lacking energy. That was my Google search. And I found some good articles, and those articles led me to some Facebook links. One was for Working Mother, a little over 190,000 likes on that page, or followers on that page. The Art of Simple, I came across this. You know, I put some articles up here because these were great articles that would help Carol see some of the things that are being talked about in terms of helping moms improve their energy, and some of those led to links. So there was one for the Art of Simple, about 268,000. There was Well Grounded, about 3,900. There was this thing that Circle of Moms. Well, that is tied to Pop Sugar Moms. There's over 2 million that are on that website. So again, Carol's going to need to do the same thing. She's going to need to go through, and as I have found some different Facebook pages, Google search Energy for Moms, I came across this article. It linked to this Merrick Lane. She's an individual. She's got almost 11,000 followers on Facebook that watch what she does. So as Carol goes through here, she's going to be able to have to make some decisions. Here's a Facebook Healthy Women, 22,000. Health by Heather, I forgot. Oh, I do. This is an article. So I found Better Health by Heather on Facebook. She's got 1,300. The nice thing about Health by Heather, Better Health by Heather, she has some pretty good engagement. With the people who are following her, there's good engagement. So again, Carol's going to need to go through these links, these Facebook page ponds, and she's going to have to make a decision to boil these different ponds down to 3 to 5 of them, and then start the process of searching. I tried searching Carol for friends of my friends who are moms and use energy supplements, and I really didn't get anything up there. I got some great things for myself personally for people who are in athletic performance, but I couldn't find specifically what we're trying to target, which would be moms with kids who lack energy. So sometimes when you do your Facebook searches, you're not going to find things that you're looking for. So you just got to try different combinations. That's the nice thing about on Google or on Facebook. Just try some different combinations. Think about what's important to the person that you're trying to market to, and then use those things that you feel would resonate with that individual. Use them for your search terms to be able to lead you to some potential ponds where moms are at, that you can then start fishing in those ponds. Carol, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So Carol, anything that I'm sorry I cut you kind of short on time here, but is there anything that you wanted to add to what we're trying to do?
No, not tonight.
Okay. Now I know that you've got some secret sauce that you're trying to enlist, like the neighbor behind you and one of your relatives, right?
Yes, and you know what I really, this kind of brought awareness to me tonight with this Facebook thing is I have massage therapists I kind of was targeting before, but some of those massage therapists are now moms and not really active in their massage therapists, so now this may be a different way of connecting with them.
Yeah.
And maybe they wouldn't have answered something as far as massage therapists when I was putting it that way before, but now it's more, that's really their thing is being a mom now. So,
Yeah. Well, good. Well, anything else before we open this up for any potential questions?
no, thank you.
Okay. So we're a little bit long, but do I have any questions from anyone on tonight's call that you want to either ask Carol directly, ask David directly, or ask me directly before we say goodnight?
Well, this is Tammy. I really feel like it was very informative. So thanks so much for the subject matter.
You're welcome, Tammy. Appreciate it. Anyone else have any comments or questions that you want to ask the three of us? Penny, or not Penny, but Carol, David, or myself. All right. Well, Carol, I want to thank you for being on tonight. David, I want to thank you. David, any final comments before we close off the call?
No, Dan. Only that, of course, this is going to have a follow-up. I'm sure later on where we kind of share our progress and
Yes.
inform everybody. So for now, that's about it. And let's start in August and keep it going.
Yeah, that's this coming Monday. So,
Yep, yep.
all right.
It'll be exciting.
Thank you, everyone.